Welcome to How's Your ePresence? This show is produced by ePresence, and I am Mark Galvin, your host for the show. We're glad to hear you are here to discover something new about digital marketing. We're always trying to figure out ways that we can help you, our audience, do something new, learn something new about your own marketing efforts. And it may be digital, sometimes it may be print related. We've had that come up somewhat recently. We want to answer the burning questions that you have. So, every show is teed up with a how do I question. So here's some examples from just some recent shows. What is a marketing strategy model? Let me rephrase that. What is the marketing strategy model? We had a guest from Cox Media Group come in and answer that question. Here's another one. How to build a better email list. We all need to know that. One more, how to use your current blogs to improve your SEO. So we always have great people coming in, sharing some great quality content. You should make sure that we are always answering your questions, right? If you've got something you want us to answer, let us know. We'll go find a guest that can answer that question, or you may have someone out there that you think can answer one of the questions that's, one of those burning questions. Maybe there's someone there that is an expert in the marketing place that would like to reach new people. Send them our way. We would love to have them here on the show. If you're just tuning in, you can send us a message live and ask any questions at any time. We would love to have that interaction. So today, we're going to talk about making videos for your business. We're going to talk about getting comfortable on camera, and we're going to talk about videos and LinkedIn. So some great quality content. Make sure you stick around. When you want to come back to this show in the future, simply search for ePresence, how to optimize my camera presence. Now, make sure you subscribe to our show. So you'll see there's the subscribe button is actually on this side. Hit that subscribe button there on the screen. Why should you subscribe? You get a notification when we go live. So that way you can tune us in, you can ask a question, and maybe you get your questions personally answered. So make sure you subscribe wherever you are, be it on YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook. All right. So who do we have on the show today? We have a super show today. You're going to love this. We have Elsewine Rietveld here with us. She is from the Netherlands. She used to be someone who would be caught with the deer in the headlights on camera. She shares techniques from her confidence creation framework from her brand new book. And we're going to talk about her book. She has a video strategy with 75 great ideas that'll help you. And she developed a program called Pirate, 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 which is a technique of doing live videos. And we get to find out what she means by that. She trains professionals to speak with confidence in conversations on presentation and videos. And she's worked with some great people, including KPMG, Afas, KLM, to Delft. You can tell these are some of the organizations in the Netherlands, as well as Deloitte. So please, please, please interact with us. If you would like to ask a question, throw up your questions at any time. We'll catch it right in our chat box, and we will answer those questions right on the fly. Well, great. If you guys are ready, and I know I am, let's meet Elsewine. Elsewine, are you out there?
Hi. Very good to see you, Mark. How are you?
I am good. Welcome. So glad you're here. So you're joining us from the Netherlands, and I'm assuming it is not, well, we're at 1:15 Eastern. No, actually, it's 2:15 Eastern. I need to change that clock. What time is it there?
It's 8:15 p.m. in the evening.
8:15 p.m. Well, that's not so bad. So you're not ready for bed yet, right?
No, I'm actually sort of a night owl. So
good.
I sleep in, but I also go to bed around 1:30 usually.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, good. I'm glad we're not keeping you from bed. Now, I'm going to tell you, if I have to do a show at 8 o'clock at night, I'm in trouble because I go to bed rather early because I just wake up early. I need to teach myself to be able to sleep in a little better. I need to work on that. Well, let's get into some of this great stuff that you work on. So one of the things that you got a book, what's the name of your book?
It's called Get Comfortable on Camera. And that is what it is.
It describes it. It's a perfect name. All right, perfect. So it's all about how to get comfortable on camera. Why did you write the book?
Well, the idea behind the book is to inspire business owners to really get visible, get out there on camera, and inspire others with their knowledge and everything that they have. I used to be super scared. So the first time I wanted to make a video, it's about 8 years ago. I borrowed a tripod and I had set the camera and my lights. And then I walked out of the room. I was so scared. I felt this big camera lens staring at me and I just couldn't. I was like, no, this is not going to happen. But at the same time, I had this feeling inside that I knew it's super important. And that was 8 years ago. And over the years, it has become even more important to be on camera, be visible, and connect with your audience. And my big vision for the book is to inspire over 10,000 business owners so they get visible and inspire their audience, and thus creating like this big snowball or ripple effect of positive change.
I love that. I think that's awesome. So you're in Europe. Do you officially say the Netherlands is in Europe? Is that the right terminology?
Yeah.
Okay. And I am assuming that business people in Europe are as interested as the US folks are in making their online digital profiles really pop to really connect with people. Give me an example of someone you've been able to help, and what was the impact of that help?
For videos, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I work with many different business owners, and there was this one guy, and he said he actually had bought all the stuff, right? So he had a green screen, he had lights, he had a good camera, and the material was just sitting there. And there were elements holding him back. So part was mindset, part was not knowing what to talk about, really. And I worked with him, and I actually created a course before I created the book, but there are a lot of similarities in the book that is sort of like condensed from my training and everything that I do. So it's basically the same material. And he did the work and wrote me an email and said, well, first of all, I am just super happy about putting out videos, but not only that, I've just started to create my own online video course with my knowledge. It has been like this idea for him for so long.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
After doing that, he's been able to take action. And that's what I hear again and again. People feel inspired and like excited to get on camera and no longer be held back.
I think that's phenomenal. And there is certainly a feeling that people get when that camera kicks on for the first time. There is there's some dread that goes with it. I just assume nobody's listening. So if I was like, nobody's paying attention anyway. So it's just sort of like Elsewine and I are just having a conversation. I actually play a little mind trick with me. That may not be healthy. Tell me offline. No, I'm kidding. If that's not a good thing, you should please let me know. But you have a technique that you like to apply, and it's the acronym for PIRATE. What is the PIRATE technique?
Yeah, so the PIRATE technique, that is something to improve on your live videos. So very often people are doing a Facebook Live, and those who are lucky enough to have it on LinkedIn, I am still waiting, can do the LinkedIn Live, or those are the mostly done platforms. So I also see some people doing Instagram Live. And first of all, a little tip on what you just said there, Mark, is maybe not to imagine nobody is watching, but just one person. That's a tip that people find really helpful. So picture like your best friend or your favorite client.
That may make me more nervous.
Really?
Yeah, it's funny. Can you and I let's just have you and I have a conversation. Nobody else is listening. This is just between you and me.
Okay.
So when I have a conversation when I actually have to speak to my family, and this happened this weekend, as a matter of fact, one of my kids graduated from high school, and I had everybody over at the house, and I had to say something publicly to my family. I get more nervous talking to them than I do to people I don't know. So I'd rather talk to a person I don't know. It makes it easier for me. But You're back to your point though. You say one person, think of the one person and talk to them. That's actually really interesting. I like that. Why is that a good thing?
Well, because very often when we make videos, even now that we are live, right, and we are here together, but I am still
Right.
in this room here in the Netherlands on my own with my computer, and I still connect with you. But especially when you record a video, it's just you. And people find it really hard to bring their point across like vividly in an engaging way. They sort of feel like they're talking to a thing. Very often people get more robotic, or like they're sort of like if they even look at the lens. So my big tip is look through the lens.
Right.
First, I will get to the pyrotechnique in a second, but you actually need this with the pyrotechnique combined. So look through the lens and imagine one person watching. And it's just a time delay between when you are recording it and they are watching it. But you are actually speaking to a real person. And when you pick and don't pick your whole family, right? Just pick one person, your best friend or your favorite client that you love working with. And I just picture the person sitting there actively nodding, like
Responding. Sure. Yeah.
And that way your videos get much more conversational already, because people want to watch not someone who is reading like a whole piece perfectly worded, looking away from the camera, or looking to themselves when they're on their phone. You are on the side and they're speaking like this. No, people want to connect with you, and they want you to be conversational, and that really helps. Maybe you can ask a question, even like if you talk about let's say taxes or law, sort of finances, and say like, it's been the tax season. Have you been able to submit your annual taxes just yet? Let's get into that. So it is much easier to do it like that if you imagine one person that you're speaking to, than when you're just talking to your phone or to your laptop. So
I think that's a good point. I really think it's a great point. And looking at the camera is a big deal, because as I interact with you on a recorded lens or recorded video later, and you're not looking at the lens, we don't connect. We are still very human, and that interaction is so important. So this is interesting. I actually have two monitors that I use, and I have a monitor on that side, a monitor over here. And I have the camera situated on a stand in between the monitors. So I move. So you're literally split between the two monitors. So you're over there now, you're over here now. I put your face right by the camera so that I'm still looking at you, and I'm not quite looking at the camera, but I'm close, because I know that that's important. That's a trick that I use. Before I did that, I have three kids, and I have a picture of two of my children that I literally put them on the camera. I cut a little hole in their torso, so they were right above the camera. So I was speaking to a person. I had that way for about 6 months. So yeah, I kind of did that where I could speak to a person because I could look at their eyes, which is much more natural. At the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. You want to be natural. So that's a great technique.
Yeah, that's another thing that people do, either just behind the camera, or indeed, if you don't mind making a hole in your picture, you can put it over there. Or sometimes people even put a post-it beside the lens with an arrow, like look here, but then still, of course, have to remember to picture this person, because it makes it much more vividly and engaging for your audience to watch when you do the videos.
Good. Okay, so tell me what pirate is. I interrupted
pirate you. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's totally fine. So the pirate technique is actually, it's an acronym, and each letter stands for an element of when preparing to do live videos. So the P stands for prepare, and you have to, of course, think about what are the topics that I'm going to cover, and you don't need to write them out word for word. You just think about, like, maybe you write down 3 or 4 bullet points, or like when this live is about, I don't know, team building, you think like maybe you cover 4 steps there. So you write down those 4 steps, no matter the topic that you have. You check your microphone. We did this before we're here. Also,
Right.
like, is the camera okay? Is the background okay? Can you see my face? You know, when you have a window behind you, your face is totally black and you cannot even see. Thus, you lose the
Serious
connection and
problem, sure.
interaction,
Right.
right? So make sure everything is okay in the preparation as much as possible as you can. Then the I stands for interaction. And I think live, so I don't know if there are comments yet. If there are, let me know, because interaction is a key element of doing live videos. When there are comments showing up and you ignore them, why did you not just record a video?
Right.
This is super important. So when we are now, I think, on a place where I cannot see the comments, but usually, we started like, I am from the Netherlands. You could ask a question like, where are you from? Or where are you listening in from today? Or I used to be scared on videos. Are you scared on video as well? So I have this interaction, and definitely when people ask a question, interact and answer that question. So that is the
Right.
I. Then I'm very strict on no reading. Like, you can read a sentence or two, but don't read out your whole script for the whole video the whole time, right? You can just speak like a normal person that you are. But for the comments, we actually do read. So the R is for reading. And we often look away. So when there are comments here, you either maybe have your second screen. So I'm on now on my laptop. And then you have your second screen here and you read it, or you see the comments on the side. So there's a moment away from the eye contact.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Okay. Mark, your question is, what lighting can I best use in my house when I have two windows opposite from each other? Excellent question, Mark. Let me answer this for you. So you read the name and you read the question. Why? Because especially when there's more people, and for example, on Facebook, the comments are coming by more quickly, and you don't have
Right.
to answer all of them, obviously, but people don't know. So if I would say like, Mark, indeed, good question, or yes, that's the best way of doing it, people watching are totally, and those watching on replay, they have no idea what you are referring to. So that is why you read the name of the person and the question, and then you go back to the eye contact to answer, and then you go back and forth. So the A, I covered a little bit already, is ask questions. Like, what is your big struggle when it comes to making video? I was so scared I didn't even dare to start. I felt like 10,000 people would be watching me. I knew that wouldn't be the case. Maybe 5 people, not 5,000. But it felt like that. So that was a big struggle for me, the idea of who will be watching, how will they judge me?
That's a great point.
And maybe someone in the comments says like, oh, I struggle with content, or I don't know, the technical side of things. So with asking these questions on your topic, you can get more information and interaction. Again, the I is sort of the core of the pirate technique, have that interaction. Then the T stands for timing. So one thing I see a lot of people do, especially on a Facebook Live, they start to say something, they see a comment pop up, and mid-sentence, they stop everything. It's like they drop everything they were doing. They read, a question about backgrounds. Let me get into that. And then, it can really interfere with your structure.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
Yeah, so it can help to sort of finish your point and say like, okay, when is the timing? I will first explain the pirate technique for you, all the 6 steps, and then I will look at the comments. Or at least finish your sentence and then say like, oh, I see that a comment has come up. And then you do a little bit around the comments. So your timing, take your time. You can decide. You don't need to answer the second that the comment pops up. And another element on the timing is that there is always a time delay, especially with Facebook. It's long. It's like 20-25 seconds. So when you say, are there any more questions before I go to the next topic? And then people wait like 8 seconds or 10 seconds. No more questions? Right. Let's crack on with the next topic. And then 15 seconds later, there's like
Boom,
3 questions.
they get the question pops up. Sure.
Popping up. So also there, take that into account with your timing, that you say like, okay, in a bit I will go on to the next topic, but talk a little bit longer to see, okay, are there no more questions at the moment? And then we have the E, and that stands for expect it to go wrong. Not from a place of doom, not from a like, oh my God, the exact opposite, for flexibility and just be prepared. Anything can happen. I've attended I've done lives where things happened. I did a training where a lady did a weekly live or daily live every day of the week. And we've had like a dead mouse being dragged in by the cat, a child falling from the stairs, package deliveries, things
Who knows,
you cannot
right?
prepare for. We started
Sure.
pyramid with the P, so you try to prepare as optimally as you can. But there could be a bird dropping on my window right now out of the sky or what have you. And then I'd say acknowledge. Or when I don't have a dog, but some people have a dog and they sneak their way in and they start barking or something happens. Don't just pretend it's not happening and carry on with what you're doing. Just acknowledge, say like, hey guys, I hear the dog is going wild. Something must be going on there. Let me have a look, or let me put him outside, or
Right.
whatever.
Be
So
real.
Acknowledge.
Yeah.
What's going. Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah.
So
That reminds me of the BBC case where there was the man who was a newscaster, and while he was answering some catastrophic big deal news piece, and you could see he was sitting in a bedroom basically. His children came in, and his wife comes flying in and is trying to grab the kids, and he's just staring at the mic. He's not acknowledging all the chaos going behind him. It was absolutely hilarious. But it would have been, I always thought he should have just said, all right, I'm sorry, my kids popped in here. And, even grabbed a child and put the child on his lap, because obviously the child wanted to engage him. And he can always hand the child back off to his wife when she comes in. But no, his wife was pressured to fly in and grab the kids. Honestly, I'm glad it happened. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. But today, especially with COVID and everybody working from home, we are used to having disruptions. We're used to hearing dogs bark. I've seen more people, this happens constantly. I've seen people who have cats, and as soon as they start talking, the cat is not used to them speaking. The cat jumps up and starts walking right in front of the camera, right? Because they just think that there's nobody else here. You must be talking to me. So yeah. I think that is a natural thing, and we accept that. There was a day we're all trying to look at TV, and newscasters have this sterile environment and everything is scripted. I just don't think that that's realistic. And so you basically share that. Don't let those little things that go wrong throw you off.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being flexible and not easily thrown off balance with whatever happens. And when you expect it, and sometimes nothing goes wrong, and that's fine too, of course.
Right.
But if you just sort of over prepare and are super stressed about it needs to be right, then actually it has sort of the opposite effect. So to be more relaxed and comfortable, hey, whatever happens.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So we're at 24 minutes and our show's 30 minutes long. And this always happens to me. I always want to go for about an hour, but I refuse to do it to my audience. But here's something I think is interesting. One of the topics that we have on our script is using videos on LinkedIn. Do you have specific tips for LinkedIn because of my audience, a healthy number of them are on LinkedIn. So I'd love to hear your thoughts there.
Yeah, definitely. So I always think people have so much going on, especially on LinkedIn. So my tip is always to have short videos. So if you have something to share, keep your videos under a minute. it's better to have 5 videos, share 1 video every day with 1 short tip, than when you craft a video of 5, 6, 7 minutes and you share this tip and this tip and this tip. It takes longer for you to create. People get overwhelmed, like, oh, there's 5 things, and they do maybe 1 thing or they do nothing because they're like, oh, and it's this and that and that. If you keep it super short, plus you are more visible, because one of the things, and we never know how the LinkedIn algorithm works, but when you just put out 1 video per week, chances are that people see it is less. So when you put out 5 videos per week, or 7 even, like every day, just do a video every day. That's better. And it can be 30 seconds.
Good. Now, I love this. And as a matter of fact, we are, Morgan and I are constantly working on coming up with new videos for us to drop that are in addition to these shows. But what I think is, what I would love to ask you is, how do you come up with, or how do you recommend someone come up with content to try to keep it tight? What do they, everybody struggles with that. What am I supposed to talk about? What would you tell that person that says, I don't know what to talk about?
Yeah, so one of the things, and I cover this in my book as well, is a strategy on really going back and think about, first of all, you have clarity on who is your audience and what are they interested in. So always keep that in mind. But then,
very important.
Yeah, it's make it relevant for them.
Yeah.
But also, what are your goals for video? So in my book, I have a mind map set up, and you first start to think about, what goals do I have? And goals are, for example, increase your know, like, trust, or know, love, trust, as I name it, because we want people to get to know you. That's easier through video. Really,
Right.
sort of professionally fall in love with you. Like, oh, this is a person I either like to work with, or I like to refer to someone else just because they love your videos. And trust, because you don't only see the text that's written, you hear their voice, their accent, you see their body language. So that really
Right.
helps with the trust right there. Another goal could be educate, entertain, sell. So there's loads of different ones. And when you have a goal, you then think about 5 types of videos that support that goal. For example, if you say, like, oh, I want to build know, like, trust, you can do story videos, client success stories, mistakes that you made. Very important. When you are real and open and vulnerable, and especially take out the learning point,
Right.
it really builds trust with people if you share that as well. So those 3, and there could be like 2 more. And then you write down 5 topic ideas for each. So I'm going to think about 5 client stories, 5 mistakes that I made. What was the other thing I said? Like a story from yourself. Like, just like, I tell my deer in headlights story, for example, and I could do like my story of how I find a good background, another story. So I think about that. So when you do that for 1 goal, and you have 5 types of content, 5 types of videos, that support that goal, and then you have 5 topics on content per type of video. So
tons of content. I mean,
that sparks the idea. So with just 1 goal, you have 25 ideas.
Wow.
And in the mind map, you have 3 to 5 goals. So at least 75 ideas that are tailored to you and your audience, that are from your background, that support the goal that you have, make it more effective what you do. And then, like I said before, not everyone sees your content on LinkedIn. So you can really, firstly, share the video again after a while. And you can record a second video. So we talked about the eye contact.
Right.
Over the last years, I have at least 4 or 5 different videos where I talk about this. Every time a little bit differently, different background, different hair or clothing, different words, because I just speak like, so it sounds a bit differently. And people don't mind hearing something again, like, oh, that's right, she talked about this eye contact before, I must do this. Or they see it for the first time. So with this, you have at least, like, you can do the topic twice. So you have already 150 videos that you can create. And if you share them twice, every video, you have a year's
Oh my God, you're done.
content.
Yeah.
And
I love
it
that.
takes you like 30 to 60 minutes. So that's that's in the book and a little bit more detailed described, but that's basically the strategy behind coming up with content ideas.
Oh, I love this. I love this. And I love that you've given us some great tips from the book, but people ought to buy the book so they can get a lot more information on how to do this. So where can people find you to track down a way to buy that book?
Yeah, so the book is called Get Comfortable on Camera, and the URL is getcomfortableoncamerabook.com. And you can read more about it. There's the link to the Amazon store where you can buy it. And I did 9 interviews for the book as well with inspiring entrepreneurs and even one Hollywood actor. And they shared their journeys with video and tips and insights also for LinkedIn, sales, lead magnets, e-commerce, all different backgrounds. Very interesting. And as a special book bonus, you can watch the interviews. So the one you find very interesting or all of them. And on the book website, there is a 1-minute clip from everyone. So you can get an idea of who the people are that I've spoken with. And
outstanding.
Yeah, they're also in the book.
Elsewine, this has been very cool. And this is the type of information that everybody can use. I'll tell you, I'm guilty, 100% guilty of grabbing people to come on the show because I'm interested in the content. What you've shared today is something that we can put to use. Morgan, who is our show producer, who's sitting backstage, she and I end up, after all of these interviews, we end up getting together and say, oh, we got to change that. We got to change this. So this is really good quality information. Thank you so much for joining us after at 8 o'clock at night over there in the Netherlands. I really do appreciate it. We have started a summary show. So we'll have a best of May show coming up in the first Tuesday in June. You've agreed to join us there, where we'll do a little snippet on what we've talked about today. I'm excited that you'll come back, and I want to make sure we stay in touch because your content could easily be transferred to other people that I know that would need this type of feedback. So thank you for the connection. Thank you for joining us today. And I hope we sell a lot of those books for you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I hope the same, especially when people take action on it and then inspire their audience, because that will make such a difference for everyone.
I love that. Absolutely. Well, hang out. I got a couple things to ask you at the end of the show, but thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
So for the rest of you, who is ePresence? What is our organization? What do we do? So ePresence is a full service social media agency, which means we offer a lot of great things for all of you so that you could do your social media a little better. So if you're a company and you need somebody to help you with social media, we help you with that. If you're an executive at a company and you need your personal social media managed, you don't want to give your passwords away to an administrative staff member who could leave you in a month or so and take your passwords with you. We always have a whole slew of folks that are working on our team that can always help you keep your social media, your personal social media up to date. And it's so important because people that are looking to work for you are going to go look for you online and see what type of presence you have. If you've got a great presence online, you've got a better chance of attracting the very best talent. We also help college students get onto professional social media like LinkedIn. It's nothing like TikTok or Instagram. We're launching a new service called eForensics, where we help attorneys basically audit social media for their clients and potentially the competition. So if you're an attorney, you don't like social media, but you know you've got to check it out. You've got to have a report that shows what your clients are doing on social. We can help with that. We constantly do webinars and consulting. So if you're interested in, here's a good example. You need somebody to take a look at your social media, spend a little time analyzing what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, because you think your team can do it better. We can help you with that as well. We offer everyone that watches this show a 5% discount on all of our services. So just go to our website, epresence.me, send us a note, say that you watched us here on How's Your ePresence, and we'll give you a 5% discount. So let's get back to the show. ePresence is everywhere. We are, as you know, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and on LinkedIn, so you can always catch our shows there. but we will redrop all of the shows on our podcast channel so you can catch them later. And frankly, we get most of our listeners through our podcast apps. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As you see right there, we go. Subscribe to that channel as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. If you're following those channels, you'll get a notification when we go live, and you can always throw us a live question. Just like Elsewine said, it's a great thing to have live questions come in. Let's see. Elsewine said I'm not supposed to read my script, so I don't want to read it. We add content every week, so you can stay up to date on all things that have to do with business and social media. So be sure to add us to your podcast app so you get to hear all those great things. And our website, again, is epresence.me. That's epresence.me because it's all about you. This show is produced by ePresence. Our producer, writer, and social media extraordinaire is Morgan Wood. Until next time, for my guest, Elsewine Rietveld, I'm Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence?